The world of K-pop was shaken when news broke that Jungkook, the golden magne of BTS, had suffered an injury during military training. Fans, already emotional over the group's temporary hiatus due to enlistment, were left in shock and worry. How severe was his injury? Would this affect his career after military service? Questions filled the air as armies worldwide desperately searched for answers. But no one expected what happened next. Park Jimin, Jungkook's closest friend and fellow BTS member, took immediate action upon hearing the news. Despite his own military duties, Jimin made a surprise visit to the military hospital where Jungkook was being treated. But he wasn't alone. Kim Taehyung, also known as V, who was serving in the same unit as Jungkook, was already by his side. What unfolded during this visit was something no fan could have predicted. It was a cold morning when Jimin arrived at the military hospital. Dressed in his military uniform, he was almost unrecognizable to the few people who managed to catch a glimpse of him. His expression was serious, his eyes filled with concern. As he stepped through the hospital doors, a nurse greeted him with a sympathetic smile. "He's been asking for you," she said softly, leading Jimin down the quiet corridor. Jimin swallowed hard. The thought of Jungkook, strong, unstoppable, and always smiling, lying injured in a hospital bed was a reality he wasn't ready to face. He had seen Jungkook at his lowest before, but this was different. This was beyond stage exhaustion, beyond a bad flu, beyond late-night tears over music. This was something that could alter everything. As he turned the corner, he spotted Taehyung sitting by Jungkook's bedside. Taehyung looked up and gave Jimin a sad yet relieved smile. "You're here," he murmured. Jungkook, who had been resting with his eyes closed, slowly opened them at the sound of Jimin's voice. The moment their eyes met, something in the room shifted. Jimin didn't hesitate. He rushed to Jungkook's side, his hands instinctively reaching for him. "You scared me," he whispered, his voice thick with emotion. Jungkook chuckled weakly, but the wince that followed did not go unnoticed. "It's not as bad as they make it sound," he tried to assure him, but Jimin wasn't convinced. He looked at the bandages wrapped around Jungkook's arm and the faint bruises peeking from under his hospital gown. He felt a tight knot in his stomach. "They said it was just a minor accident during training. But why do I feel like there's more to this?" Jimin asked, his voice laced with both worry and frustration. Taehyung, who had been silent until now, sighed. "There's something they didn't tell the public," he admitted hesitantly. Jimin's heart pounded. "What do you mean?" Jungkook glanced at Taehyung, then back at Jimin. There was a moment of hesitation before he finally spoke. "It wasn't just a fall. There was an explosion during a training exercise." Jimin's blood ran cold. "En explosion." The word felt foreign and terrifying coming out of his mouth. Jungkook nodded slowly. "It wasn't meant to be serious. It was just a simulated drill, but something went wrong. The blast was stronger than expected, and I got caught in it." Jimin's hands trembled as he reached for Jungkook's uninjured hand, gripping it tightly. "Why didn't anyone tell me? Why didn't you tell me?" Jungkook sighed, looking away. "I didn't want you to worry." "Too late for that," Jimin muttered, his voice breaking. He turned to Taehyung. "And you? How could you keep this from me?" Taehyung looked down, guilt flashing across his face. "I wanted to tell you, but Jungkook asked me not to." Jimin shook his head, feeling overwhelmed. His mind raced with possibilities. What if Jungkook had been more seriously injured? What if the explosion had been worse? What if he stopped himself? Jungkook was here, alive, talking. That was what mattered. The room fell into silence for a while, each of them lost in their own thoughts. Then Jimin took a deep breath and looked Jungkook straight in the eye. "From now on, I don't care what it is. You tell me everything. Promise me." Jungkook smiled faintly. "I promise." Taehyung, who had been quietly watching the exchange, suddenly chuckled. "I don't know whether to be touched or scared of Jimin right now." Jimin shot him a look. Both. For the first time since entering the room, Jimin felt a sense of relief. Jungkook was hurt, but he was still the same Jungkook, teasing, smiling, and endlessly strong. As the visit continued, the three of them reminisced about old times, talking about music, performances, and their journey together. It was a reminder that no matter where life took them, their bond remained unbreakable. The news of Jimin's visit quickly spread, and fans were overwhelmed with emotion. Social media was flooded with messages of support, love, and admiration for the friendship between the three members. Jimin rushing to see Jungkook the moment he heard? "My heart can't handle this." The way Taehyung stayed with Jungkook, and Jimin showed up without hesitation. This is true friendship.
I'm crying.
This is why BTS is forever. Their love for each other is real. Even though BTS members were serving in the military, their connection remained stronger than ever. It was a bittersweet reminder of the brotherhood that had been built over a decade, one that not even time, distance, or military service could break. While Jungkook was expected to recover fully, his time in the military hospital meant that he would have to undergo rehabilitation before resuming regular duties. Fans remained hopeful, sending prayers and well wishes for his quick recovery. As Jimin finally left the hospital that evening, he turned back for one last glance at Jungkook, who gave him a reassuring smile. "I'll be okay, Hyung." Jimin nodded, his heart a little lighter than when he arrived. "You better be." No matter where life took them, no matter the obstacles in their way, one thing was clear: BTS was and always would be family. And family never left each other behind. As Jimin left the military hospital, he found himself walking slower than usual. The cold night air stung against his skin, but it was nothing compared to the storm of emotions raging inside him. He had kept himself composed in front of Jungkook, but now that he was alone, the weight of everything hit him at once. Jungkook could have been seriously hurt. The thought alone sent a shiver down his spine. What if the explosion had been worse? What if he had lost Jungkook? The mere possibility was unbearable. That he sighed heavily and looked up at the sky. The stars blinked back at him indifferently, as if mocking his emotions. He had always been protective of Jungkook. Even when they were just teenagers living in the same dorm, he had seen Jungkook cry, struggle, push himself beyond his limits. But he had never seen him like this, wounded, vulnerable, and hiding his pain. A part of him wanted to turn back, to stay by Jungkook's side all night, but he knew he couldn't. He had his own duties to return to. Still, the guilt gnawed at him. Was he doing enough? Just then, his phone buzzed in his pocket. He pulled it out to see a message from Taehyung. "Taehyung, don't blame yourself. He's strong. He'll be okay." Jimin let out a breath he hadn't realized he was holding. Of course Taehyung knew exactly what he was thinking. "Jimin, I just wish I could do more." "Taehyung, you already did." Just being there meant everything to him. Jimin didn't reply right away. He simply stared at the screen, his heart feeling both heavy and warm at the same time. Jungkook's silent battle. More than physical pain. Back in the hospital, Jungkook lay awake, staring at the ceiling. The pain in his arm was manageable, but the thoughts in his mind were unbearable. He had always been the strong one, the one who took on challenges with a smile. But this was different. The explosion had shaken him, not just physically but mentally. For a split second, when he was thrown to the ground by the force of the blast, he had thought, "This is it." That moment of fear lingered in his mind, haunting him in ways he didn't want to admit. He didn't want Jimin or Taehyung to see how deeply it had affected him. They had enough to worry about. He could handle this on his own. Or at least, that's what he told himself.